What if a single fruit could rewind the damage of diabetes, soothe your aching joints, and make your cells feel young again? I'm not talking about some expensive pill or fancy treatment. I'm talking about something you can grab at your local market. Something bursting with ruby red seeds that pack a punch against blood sugar spikes and inflammation. Let's dive into this game changer right now, because your health can't wait another day. Now, hold on a second. Before you think I'm just hyping up another trendy superfood, let me ask you this. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to defy aging, keep their energy soaring, and manage chronic conditions with ease, while others struggle with every step? It's not just luck or genetics. There's a secret weapon hiding in plain sight, and it's tied to a compound so powerful it can transform your gut, your heart, and even the tiny energy factories inside your cells. Stick with me, because we're about to uncover how this works and why it's especially critical if you're battling diabetes or just feeling worn down by life. Let's get to the heart of it. The fruit I'm raving about is the pomegranate, a small, unassuming powerhouse that's been a staple in diets across cultures for centuries. And for good reason. It's loaded with antioxidants and anti-inflammatory properties that can tackle the root causes of so many health issues. If you're dealing with diabetes, this fruit is a lifeline. It directly supports the beta cells in your pancreas, the ones responsible for insulin production, that often get sluggish or damaged over time. Studies have shown that compounds in pomegranate can enhance glucose uptake by your cells, meaning your body doesn't have to pump out as much insulin to keep blood sugar in check. Imagine this. Instead of your glucose levels spiking to 200 after a meal, they hover around 170 or even lower, just because you've added a small serving of this fruit to your routine. Research backs this up. Pomegranate extracts have been shown to lower postprandial blood sugar levels significantly. But it's not just about diabetes. Pomegranate fights the oxidative stress that wears down every organ in your body. Think about those mornings when you wake up feeling like your joints are rusted shut, or the brain fog that makes even simple tasks feel like climbing a mountain. That's inflammation and oxidation at work. And pomegranate's flavonoids, potent antioxidants, step in like a cleanup crew, reducing the damage. I've seen patients who swore they couldn't exercise because of muscle cramps or exhaustion start to feel a difference after incorporating this fruit. One gentleman in his late 50s, always complaining about post-workout soreness, told me after a few weeks of adding pomegranate seeds to his breakfast, he felt like he could keep up with his grandkids again. And it's not just anecdotal. Athletes often use pomegranate for recovery because it cuts down on muscle fatigue. Then there's the cardiovascular angle, which is huge if you've got diabetes. You know how this condition messes with your arteries, leading to heart attacks, kidney issues, neuropathy, all the scary stuff. Pomegranate helps prevent atherosclerosis, that nasty buildup of plaque in your arterial walls. It does this by stopping LDL cholesterol from oxidizing and sticking under the artery lining. Studies have found that regular consumption of pomegranate juice can reduce the risk of this hardening and clot. Plus, it's high in potassium, which naturally lowers blood pressure, and packed with vitamins C, E, and K. Each a soldier in the fight for your immunity, arterial health, and bone strength. Picture your heart as a weary engine. Pomegranate is like premium fuel, keeping it running smoother and longer. And let's not forget the brain. Diabetes doesn't just hit your body, it creeps into your mind, increasing risks for memory issues and even Alzheimer's. Sometimes called type 3 diabetes, pomegranate boosts blood flow to your brain, protects nerve cells, and has been linked to better verbal and visual memory in regular consumers. It even eases depressive symptoms and anxiety. Imagine sitting down to a family dinner and actually remembering every name, every joke, without that frustrating fog hanging over you. That's the kind of clarity we're talking about. But here's where it gets even more fascinating. Ever thought about what's happening in your gut when you eat this fruit? Most folks don't realize that the bacteria down there outnumber the cells in your entire body. They're not just passengers. They shape your metabolism, produce vitamins, and even mess with your sleep and mood. When they're out of balance, you feel it. Joint pain, exhaustion, forgetfulness. Pomegranate contains urolithin, a compound that acts as a prebiotic, feeding the good bacteria like bifidobacteria and lactobacilli. A diverse, happy gut microbiome fights inflammation, boosts immunity, and keeps diabetes in check. I remember talking to a lady who couldn't figure out why she was always tired and irritable, even with decent blood sugar control. Turns out, years of poor diet and antibiotics had wiped out her gut's good bacteria. Once she started adding pomegranate regularly, alongside other gut-friendly habits, she noticed her energy creeping back. Even her sleep improved. That's the power of feeding your microbiome right. It's like tending a garden that grows health for your whole body. Now, let's dig deeper into this urolithin magic. Why does it matter so much? Especially if you're dealing with diabetes or just feeling older than your years. Once it's absorbed from your gut into your bloodstream, urolithin triggers something called mitophagy, a process where your body clears out damaged mitochondria, the energy powerhouses in every cell. Think of mitochondria as tiny batteries. When they're dysfunctional, everything slows down. Your pancreas can't produce enough insulin. Your muscles tire out. Your brain gets sluggish. Pomegranate promotes healthier mitochondria, so your cells literally act younger. This isn't just theory. Research shows urolithin improves mitochondrial function, directly impacting longevity of critical organs like your heart and kidneys. For someone with diabetes, this means less strain on an already overworked system. I've had patients describe it as feeling like they've turned back the clock. Suddenly, they've got the stamina to take a walk without collapsing halfway. One guy, who'd given up on even short hikes because of fatigue, started having a small glass of pomegranate juice before meals. A month later, he was back on the trails, not fast, but steady. That's mitochondria at work, fueled by nature. But here's the kicker, and it's something most people don't expect. While pomegranate is a superstar for managing blood sugar and inflammation, it's not a one-size-fits-all miracle. If your body produces very little insulin, even natural sugars in this fruit might spike your levels. I've seen it happen. A patient with advanced diabetes tried a full serving without monitoring, and their glucose jumped more than they expected. The trick is moderation and awareness. Stick to 2 to 4 ounces of juice or a small handful of seeds, ideally on an empty stomach or before a protein-heavy meal. And keep an eye on your numbers. Studies show that for most people, this amount doesn't cause spikes and even helps regulate post-meal glucose. It's like a dance. You've got to find your rhythm. And beyond diabetes, pomegranate's benefits stretch wide. Reduced joint pain, less brain fog, better recovery after exertion. It's a shield against the wear and tear of aging, but only if you wield it right. Let's zoom in on the biggest reason this fruit could be your turning point, especially if diabetes or heart issues loom large in your life. The pancreas, your body's insulin factory, isn't dead in most cases. It's just bogged down by oxidation and inflammation. Every sugary soda, every processed snack adds to that burden, making it harder to produce the small, steady amount of insulin you need. Pomegranate steps in as a protector. Its anti-inflammatory properties, driven by compounds like ellagic acid, ease the stress on your pancreas so it can function better. Research backs this. Pomegranate has been shown to improve insulin sensitivity, meaning your body uses what it makes more efficient. Picture this. Instead of your pancreas gasping under pressure, it's like it gets a second wind, just enough to keep your blood sugar balanced. I recall a woman in her early 60s, newly diagnosed, terrified of starting meds. We worked on diet first, adding pomegranate seeds to her morning routine. Over months, her fasting glucose dropped from the 140s to under 120. Not a cure, but a massive win. She felt in control again. And the heart benefits? They're just as profound. Diabetes loves to attack your arteries, setting the stage for heart attacks and strokes. Pomegranate fights back by cutting down on oxidized LDL cholesterol, the kind that forms plaque. One study found that daily pomegranate juice reduced arterial wall thickening by up to 30% in at-risk individuals. Add to that its blood pressure-lowering potassium, sometimes dropping readings by 5 to 10 points with consistent use. And you've got a natural guard for your ticker. I've watched patients who lived in fear of the big one start to relax as their numbers improved, not just on paper, but in how they felt day to day. One man, after a scare with chest pain, swore by a small serving of pomegranate with breakfast. His follow-up scans showed less progression of arterial buildup than expected. That's not just data, that's hope. Then there's aging itself. Mitochondrial dysfunction isn't just a diabetes problem. It's why we feel old before our time. Urolithin in pomegranate doesn't just clean up damaged mitochondria, it helps build stronger ones. This translates to more energy for every cell, from your muscles to your brain. Research on older adults showed improved endurance and reduced fatigue with regular pomegranate intake. I've seen it firsthand. A patient pushing 70, always saying, "I'm too tired to do anything," started snacking on pomegranate seeds post-workout. Weeks later, he was gardening again, something he hadn't touched in years. And the mental boost? Studies link pomegranate to better memory and learning, even cutting down age-related decline. It's like giving your brain a fresh coat of paint. Everything feels sharper. Now, let's lighten things up with a little trick to make this medicine something you actually look forward to. Forget boring health food. Let's turn pomegranate into a treat that feels like a celebration. Grab some fresh juice or seeds. Mix in a splash of lime for zing. Tear up a few mint leaves to release that cool aroma. And toss in a sprig of rosemary for an earthy kick. Shake it all up with a handful of ice until it's frosty. About 20 to 30 seconds of good rattling. And pour it over fresh ice in a glass. Top it with a fizz of sparkling water. If you're feeling fancy, give it a gentle stir and sip. It's refreshing, it's guilt-free, and it's packed with all the benefits we've been talking about. I've made this for friends who swore they hated healthy stuff. And they're always surprised. Like, this is good for me? You're kidding! It's perfect for a hot afternoon or after a workout when you're sweaty and craving something cold. And here's the best part. You're not just drinking a mocktail. You're sipping on something that's fighting inflammation and boosting your energy with every gulp. Make it a ritual. Start your day with it on an empty stomach, or pair it with a protein meal to keep those blood sugar spikes in check. Just remember, if you're using juice, keep it to a small glass, 2 to 4 ounces, because the natural sugars add up without the fiber of the whole fruit. I've seen folks get creative, tossing the seeds into salads or yogurt too. But this drink, it's my go-to for turning health into happiness. So, let's wrap this up with the bottom line. Pomegranate isn't just a fruit. It's a weapon against diabetes, heart trouble, and the slow drag of aging. It regenerates your cells, shields your pancreas, clears out arterial gunk, and even sharpens your mind. All thanks to its antioxidants, urolithin, and vitamins working together. You don't need much. Just a small handful of seeds or a few ounces of juice regularly, timed right and monitored if your blood sugar is It's not a cure-all, but it's a powerful ally, backed by science and real results. I've witnessed over years of guiding people through their health battles. Start today. Grab some at the market, try that mocktail, and feel the difference. If you're as excited as I am to keep diving into tips like this, hit that like button and subscribe. It's the fuel that keeps me sharing these stories. And hey, drop a comment below. What's one health change you've made that surprised you with how good it felt? I'm all ears.